Using MANUS AI, I created an entire membership website. And yes, it actually made money. In fact, it's making me passive income right now. I'm going to show you exactly the tools I used, how I host it, how I come up with the ideas, how I had MANUS AI create everything, including the slideshow that sells the product, and more. This is going to go through everything line by line so that you understand how membership sites work so that you can build a business and make money online with AI. So get ready to take some notes because I'm going to go through everything step by step. If you're excited, smash the like button and let's go to work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about membership sites and how to create them with MANUS AI. This is something that I've been doing for quite some time now, and MANUS AI is kind of a game changer when it comes to being able to build this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this with a fine-tooth comb and show you exactly how this works. Now, I want you to notice that even the slides that we're looking at today were created with MANUS. Now, going through here and understanding what we're going to do and how it's going to work and what type of content used for membership sites is super, super important. Before we get into this, I want you to know that this is a business. The results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. The average person trying to quote unquote make money online makes nothing. We want to look at this like a business. We want to understand why people would want this stuff, how it would work, and what we're going to do with it. This is super important. I think a lot of people miss out on the fact that this is an actual business. This works like crazy if people do it. However, there's some risks and rewards that we need to look at, and we need to understand what people actually want. We need to look at the data, and we need to make data-driven decisions and use AI in a way that it's going to actually help us get forward. First of all, let's talk about what a membership site is. A membership site is a gated content model where you see a lot of news sites like, The Information, and even big news sites are getting in on this where they're charging you for content. It's a website where users sign up or pay to access exclusive content. The content helps them with stuff. Maybe it's a community, tools, or a service that's not available to the public, much like Netflix. A lot of people don't know this, but Netflix is basically a membership site. That's all it is. When Netflix, I remember one time it was like not working and it showed the URL and I was like, hey, this is nothing more than a membership site like we run where you pay and you get access to it. Understanding that is key because you can make one very simple, like what we're going to show you here today, or one very complicated. The membership site example that I'm going to be showing you today is the personality prompts, which we actually used and launched, and it did well. I think we've made quite a bit of money on that. Just Monday and Tuesday, we made like $1,500 or something like that. Nothing huge, but I mean, 2 days, that's not bad. And it's something that you can build and grow and build over time. Now, you can go over to personalityprompts.com and see exactly how that works and see what we have, because obviously I'm practicing what I preach. That was created mostly using MANUS and what I'm going to show you. Now, while I have made quite a bit of money, I think we were close to about $30,000 on that example since we started it at the end of October. I want you to remember, again, the results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Most people make nothing. This is a business. We need to understand it. Being able to make the thing is not the same as being able to promote it. That's why we're going to talk about all of the things together today to show you how this works. Now, what we're going to look at for the core deliverables, this is a lot like digital products, only in the membership example, it is a membership thing where they're paying over and over for stuff. Much like I have with Blog Profit Network, where we have a custom WordPress plugin that ties into tools that we made. People pay monthly to be able to access that, and it works really well. We can have downloadable templates, private community access, and exclusive software tools. I'm going to show you how to build all these in bulk with MANUS AI so that you don't have to do the heavy lifting. Now, why do creators use membership sites? What is the strategic advantage? First of all, it is predictable recurring revenue. It's something that happens over and over. I started AI Profit Scoop around this time last year, and it's made me quite a bit of money, and it's something that I can count on over and over and over again. When I'm not getting sales for other things, every day at 7 o'clock, usually when I'm at the gym, I get the emails of all the people that are rebuild, and it's something that works really good. We can move from the feast or famine, I need to make launches and sales, to something stable that we can do. Platform independence, I'm going to show show you why and how I create membership sites on my own platform. This is key because this gives me the ability to control my audience, the ability to control how I take payments and different things like that. Next, we have scalable impact, where one sale equals a lot. So like if I get one person to sign up for personality prompts today, and I know that, hey, the average person stays for an entire year, that's essentially like a $600 sale, plus I have the ability to sell other things as well. Also, looking at the asset value, you're building a sellable business with monthly recurring revenue, which is important. A lot of people talk about passive income. Some people talk about it like, hey, just do one thing and you're gonna get paid over and over. Some people say it doesn't exist. I've been making a living with passive income for a long time, and it is one of my favorite things to look at. Now, when we look at this, we need to understand what is it that people would pay for. Obviously, if I'm going to create a membership site and people are going to pay for it, I need things people want. Like if Netflix stops carrying things that people want to watch, they're going to lose out. However, they know that there's certain things people would want, like Stranger Things. That is a show that people really like. Ergo, people sign up for Netflix, stay for a long time. That is a good way for them to get customers. Very, very important. And when we understand that, we're demonstrating the power of bulk content variety in a membership. You can do this for literally anything. It doesn't just work for make money online or business type stuff or AI. It can work for a combination of several things or even its own thing. Years ago, I remember when a client or a customer came in when I was selling computers, and he had a site where he was selling legal forms, and it did really well. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. This is something I want to emulate. And that is kind of what led me to this stuff. Now, understanding this, we can go through and do like review type templates where maybe you're creating templates that people can use to review different products for affiliate marketing, or maybe on their own, or maybe creating their own products, done for you landing pages, 365 content ideas, swipe file examples, or assets. This is important. We see this with like PLR and things like that, where this works really well for membership site stuff. What we want to do is have production-ready content systems to promote what it is that we are creating. Obviously, the same kind of thing works with Netflix, where they get a news report about Stranger Things, people go and sign up. So understanding this, we can do keyword research sheets, SOP checklists, AI content briefs, or even local SEO audits. Now, once we get into this, what we do is we start to understand this in a very different way, where we're going to look at this and say, okay, well, what is it I'm going to do? We're going to go through in this training, and we're going to talk about the niche markets and the things that actually work, and how you could go through and use those and build and grow. Some of them are like Instagram captions. These are things that people are buying right now. 365 video hook ideas where people can use those throughout the year, Canva templates, monthly calendars, PLR stories, engagement prompts, and on we go. And a lot of these can actually be made with MANUS. As you guys see over here, when I use MANUS, I can do stuff like 100 marketing secrets dentists don't want you to know, or something like that. I can go through and I can do niche markets, or different types of things that we can get content created in a different way. This is super important. I say it all the time that content structured differently can make you money, and this is exactly how it's put into practice. Where we're going through and we're using AI to do the heavy lifting, we think and overview it. Like when I created these slides with MANUS AI, I was overseeing them. I was going through them and looking at, okay, where do I add this? Do I have to create this? And then I turned them into this website presentation and everything like that. Now, going through even more, what we want to do is look at what operational assets would look like for a product-based business. You want to create a membership site with AI? Here's what you can do. You can do stuff for like product description templates, supplier outreach emails, excuse me, add creative script, Shopify landing pages, winning product checklist, research files, on we go. Some of the things that you look at might seem simple to you, but to someone else, it's going to be a lot of value. And if you keep updated with it, you're going to have that value go and exponentially grow. That's the key here. A lot of people are focused on making one sale one time, where I could go through and I can create a sale that's going to go over and over and over again, because it is a monthly recurring. You can do slogan packs, design prompts, niche design lists, Etsy listing templates, email sequences, seasonal calendars, and more. Just before this call, I was bidding on a domain name, which I was very happy that I got for $16, where it was about different types of things that you can use for videos, explainer videos, and things like that, where you would use AI with them. And now I can go through and make a membership site around that, and it already has the traffic. Next up, looking at making client-ready assets for agencies, where you could go through and make client onboarding packs, social media calendars, proposal templates, reporting dashboards, and more. Now, some other things that we are going to get into as well are printables and trackers, where we could go through and we could look at various different niches, and you're going to see scripted routines, check-in prompts, affirmation packs, things like this. People look up all the time, and having that membership site where we go through and look at this would be very, very important. Like maybe here you have calm cards. Maybe I can make a membership site of things that people could watch when they're having anxiety or something like that. Or grounding exercises, breathing, awareness, stuff like that could work really, really well. And when you start to pair this with different things, like I have a domain about different types of feelings and calm cards and stuff like that, that work really well, and then we turn that into a niche, we would go through, we'd use something like MANUS, and I would start by saying, list out 150 feelings people deal with and how to, or let's just do feelings they deal with. And then what it would happen is MANUS would get that list of feelings. Then I can go through and get a prompt for a video, and I can make content at bulk, put it into a membership area, and boom, we're off to the races, we're ready to go. Looking at this is super important because a lot of people miss this. They miss it because it's not entertaining, it's not super crazy fun, it's just something you gotta build so you can make a living. So when you look at this, the boring makes the money. And going through and going even further, we can look at cutting edge content for technical ideas or audiences, prompt engineering. This is something huge. Think about a niche, think about prompts they would want, boom, membership site. This is exactly what I did with personality prompts, where I started to look at things different and say, well, what would people need? How can they get the best value out of it? A lot of people are using AI right now. This is a huge opportunity. You could literally go through and you could say something like, what are 100 common prompts and uses dentists use AI for marketing? And it'll go through and it'll tell you those, and you could start to look at that and it'll be like, oh, here's the email marketing prompt, here's this prompt for this, here's a video prompt or something like that. And what's going to happen is it's going to look at that content, get those 100 different examples, boil them down into a prompt. Obviously, I'm going to go through and refine and rework them, but now I have something that I can put into a members area and charge dentists and say, hey, these prompts will help you with your marketing, or gear it towards their assistant, right? Whoever their office assistant is, you could go through and say, hey, using these prompts, you will get a certain outcome with AI rather than trying to figure it out yourself. And these are the kind of things that people won't go search for. Like if you were to go and search the internet enough, you're going to find prompts for literally anything and literally everything, but people don't want to do the work of going to find them, which is where our membership site is going to come into play. Looking at this and saying prompt engineering, mega prompt libraries, fill in the blank templates, specialty packs for SEO, coding, different things like that, and then you can add to it. I'm going to show you why using your own self-hosted membership site is much better than super expensive options, which aren't as good. Very important, because what we want is something that's going to host the stuff the way that we want it. And the best way to do that is by locking folders on a website. More about that in just a minute. Next, you can make them for vibe coding, AI automation, video content, and on we go. Starting to understand, yes, we can line this out in a different way that's going to start to make sense, and we can build it. Now, this doesn't just work for marketing. Maybe you're going out there and you have homeschooling. I knew someone years ago who had a homeschooling site. They had all kinds of tips on homeschooling. They made a good living. And eventually, I think they sold it for like high six figures, which was pretty cool. She was pretty much retired, and that's how she retired. And starting to look at this and understand This can work for anything. Years ago, I used to be a member of magician websites where you go and you'd learn different ways to do magic and stuff like that, and it worked extremely well. My first membership site I had, I believe, was back in 2003, where we'd go through and we'd talk about like different ads and things like that, and it worked really, really, really well. Now, understanding how this works is key because it works in literally any niche. We're going to go through some niches in just a minute and talk about the ones that would work and talk about low barrier of entry niches where we could go to MANUS and create these things very fast. Like going through and looking at cleaning. Can you do daily, weekly, deep cleaning checklists? Things like that. Motivation for working out, decluttering challenges, cleaning sheets, chores, and things like that, or even homeschooling stuff, parenting, budgeting, on and on we go. I have a friend who has a budgeting website. They have a membership site there. It's a very expensive one, yet they're doing extremely well with it. Starting to understand, hey, wait a minute, these are things people pay for. So if I could figure out what they pay for and figure out how to make them and reverse engineer it and figure out what they would want and add my own flair to it, that's where the rubber starts to meet the road. Now, going through even more, you could do goal-oriented tracking, planning, and goals. And you're going to see MANUS goes to work. Here it is, finding all the dental stuff. And a lot of people come to me, and my MANUS videos are the ones that my students hate the most. And I think it's because MANUS costs $200 a month for the big plan. And, you know, I mean, if you're going to let $200 stop you from what this thing can actually do, forget about it, right? Because starting to look at this and understand this tool is like a $5,000 a month group of employees if you know how to use it right. But the problem is people don't know how to use it right. They're still out there looking for like, oh, hey, MANUS, make me money, make me content. But they're not doing that extra bit of thought. Understanding I need to get this to make something the way that I think about it and the research that I find people want. It's not just about slapping something together. PLR and stuff like that, there's a lot of appeal to it, but it's not exactly the best thing. If we could go through and start to understand what these dentists want and what kind of prompts would work, then we can go through and do something. Or going through here, this is one where I did types of video animation, or this one where it was AI tools. There is a membership site right now that I think is like $700 a year. All they do is find data on startups and provide that. That's literally all they do is they're like, here's startups, here's how much they make, here's how they funded, here's how they started, here's the niche, and they're breaking down that content. AI does this at a scale that is unprecedented. And when you understand tools like MANUS can go through and say, oh, what are all the things people struggle with weight loss? What would be good things to make when we go through and do this? Very, very important. We could do stuff like weight loss, keto, low-carb meal plans. This is a big one. You start to look at your keyword tools and you do stuff like meal plans, and you're going to see people look this up like crazy. And this is something where you might think, oh, who's going to pay for a meal plan? Well, we have to look at that and we have to say, okay, well, wait a minute. These people are paying for meals, like everybody eats. Eating is not cheap today, right? It does cost a lot to go to the old grocery store. How can I make something with a value proposition that's going to be really, really good? That's what we want to do. When I made personality prompts, I wanted to say, how could I make this worth 10, 20, or even more times what the person pays? How can I make this so valuable that it is a no-brainer? How can I make this so valuable to where it's like, okay, you're going to get that value in it? Think about it this way. I pay over $1,000 a month to have a personal trainer at the gym. Why? Because I know I won't go there, and I know I don't know what to do, and I don't have a spotter, and all these things. So what is the value proposition? You might say, well, all the weights are there. It's literally $19 a month. Why are you paying $1,000 to get the same thing that I get? Because of the added extra. That expertise, that added extra bit is what the key is. And when you understand, okay, if I'm doing meal plans for weight loss and stuff like that, what is the extra bit they're going to get? Rather than just a list of plans, how do we make that work? Going through and looking at them even deeper, you can do intermittent fasting, sleeping improvement, gut health, and thinking about like, all of these are a gateway to affiliate programs that you could sell as well. Because what's going to happen is if you have a membership site and you have people that show up and use the site, well, then you have an ability to sell them other stuff and help them and learn about your market. This is something a lot of people forget about and they don't think about because they're too busy trying to make that quick sale, or, why would I go and mess around with a $17 a month membership when I can do X, Y, and Z? Well, I'll tell you why, because every week I have hundreds of people that are on trainings about the membership site that I can get into other stuff. And it's really about helping. And this will help you understand your market unlike anything else. Inspiration and structure for creative results. We can look at things like writing and storytelling. People that are looking to write, you could make a membership site where all you do is talk about how to write good with AI, or how to write good without AI, or how to write a plot or a video or a story or whatever it is, or even how to submit your writing for a publishing or something like that. You could do coloring type things, astrology, printable stuff, guided meditation, and on we go. And when you start to understand what we're doing is we're taking the sideways content model and we're using it in something we're building, which is going to be more of the same. So you are going to sell, hey, here's these templates I give away on my site free. If you want all of them with the tools and the AI prompts and everything like that, check out my members area. They already trust you because they got the free stuff in the sideways content type thing. And if this is stuff that you guys like, I would highly recommend checking out AI Profit Scoop and personality prompts, because this is what we teach all the time. Now, going through even more, when we look at this, you can look at different tools like romantic text packs. These are things that work really good, where you could do like romantic things you can text your wife, or marriage coaching, dating. Literally works in any niche. And when we look at it, we need to understand the core membership site elements. First, we have the public-facing stuff, like our sales page, our lead magnet, our opt-in, checkout form, which is all created using whatever membership site software you're into. I like to use Aweber. I think it's one of the best. I've used it for many years. It's a one-time thing, so you pay for it for it's like $200 or something, and you own it forever. There is a learning curve. You have to learn how to set it up. That is something we do for students that are in our membership site stuff. Different coaching courses and things like that, where you understand, okay, how am I going to set this up? How am I going to make it work? Then you have the member area, which is the locked portion. So it's very simple, just a basic locked system. Some of the things that you could do here to convert traffic into paying members is having free samples, right? Like right now, if you were to go into personality prompts, let me see, I think I have it open over here somewhere. I'll just open it here. In personality prompts, what will happen is you can go through. Let's see if hopefully I remember my logins here. I believe I do. Okay, I'll have to find them on another screen here. But what will happen is when you go in here, you will see how the members area works, and you'll see all the stuff I have. So I'll give you a sneak peek of how it works, how I made it, how I came up with it, and what we're doing with it next. So if I go in here, let's see if this wants to work. There we go. Cool. Let's see. I think it was. There we go. So what you're going to see here is the way that it works. This is our main members area. And then you're going to go into the dashboard, and this is what the dashboard looks like. This was created with MANUS AI, which is not hard to make. We used Gemini to make a couple of things. Took a little bit of work, it's taken some time to build it. But what you're going to see is we have all of the prompts in each category where they could go through, and they're like, okay, here's the prompt. Here's how it works. Some of them are JSON prompts where you could get visual, written, social media content. And what happens is all of these do literally everything. So this, we went through and did the research to make an advertorial prompt that would make an advertorial in the specific way that I want for the specific outcome that I'm working on. Starting to understand that's key, because now what you're going to see is I have thousands and thousands of prompts. We have training videos and stuff like that. But now what you're going to see is these prompts, I can actually make previews of them and use that to sell them. So converting traffic into paying members is actually very easy, because what you're going to do is you're going to show the things that are a snippet of the whole. This is something that I believe it was Eben Pagan did years ago, where he had it and he was like, okay, how can I go through and say, here's all the things I have. And he had literally, I think he had a, what did he have? I don't know why my pen's not working. Hopefully it'll work. Let's see. Supposed to write on there, but at any rate, what he had was he had a members area, which was a bunch of things for like romance and stuff like that, dating, and he would give away little snippets of it throughout the year. And if you stayed on his mailing list, eventually you got the whole product, but if you joined his membership area, you would get it right then and there. So he used the product to promote it. This is the PIIM marketing principle we talk about, where the product is the marketing. The product is the way that you sell it. You don't have to have anything else out there. You can do free samples, quizzes, mini courses, webinars, free trials, referral programs, and more. Works really, really well. Starting to look at this and understand how the levels work, because what we're going to do is we're going to go through, we're going to look at the niches in just a minute, and we're going to say, okay, first of all, we need to acquire customers. Then we need to get engagement where they're actually using the product. And then we focus on retention so that they stay a long time. Usually I see that a mediocre membership site will keep people like 3 to 6 members, 3 to 6 months. A really good one might keep them longer. We have some where some people stay like 10 years. It's crazy. And it works really, really well. We just want to provide on, we want to focus on providing extra value. Now, looking at how this works, this is why I use MANUS to create this, because what I want to do is I want to systemize bulk content creation. I want to create something in bulk that people are getting a lot of value out of that has a specific slant to it. So if I'm going out there and I use MANUS to find all of these dental prompts or whatever it is, I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, now let's use this with a direct response strategy, or let's use this with SEO or something like that, and start to build it for a different purpose so that those dentists get the best value, rather than, oh, here's just a bunch of prompts that I found and stuff like that. Obviously making sure that you're not doing plagiarism or copying or anything like that, which MANUS is usually pretty good at, where if you give it the specific instructions, you'll get a much better output. Going through and saying, okay, what are the things that I could use? Templates. Okay, I could go through and I could say, okay, well, what are 50 different things, types of sales calls, right? You go through there, you use MANUS, and you say, okay, let's do a new one. What are 20, we'll just do 20 so that you can see it in live example. What are 20 types of sales calls you can make and how they work? Okay, so this will go through and it'll do sales calls. Maybe you have like a cold call. Maybe you have a follow-up call, or a they're just thinking about it call, or different things like that, where we can go through and say, okay, well, how would this look? What are the 20? What is it we're trying to sell? If it's dentist, if it's software, if it's a membership site, how would we apply that to this? And then how would we boil that down into an AI tool or a prompt or something like that? Starting to understand this in a different way is absolutely key. And MANUS is absolutely crazy good at doing this stuff. When you start to look at that and understand exactly how it works, it literally is game over, because now it's going to build that stuff and do the research for you. This is something that is unparalleled. If I had this 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I first started making money online and marketing, it would have been unstoppable. I think that AI has become so mainstream that we forget the power of what it can do. And a lot of people are not looking at it objectively and for what it can do. And what it's good at is systematically making things that we can go out there and sell. But the problem is, so many people just want to make a membership site tomorrow. They don't want to think about how to go out and build it and make it different. That is where the money comes in. That is where the value comes in. Looking at AI assistants. Can I use ChatGPT or Claude to brainstorm? Can I use MANUS to put it all together? Can I use MANUS to make tools and codes and things that people would want? Can I purchase high-quality private label rights? This is something I did years ago, where I purchased a bunch of WordPress templates, put them in a members area, added my own training and showed them how to use them, and boom, there we go. What we want to do is rebrand and make it unique. When you go out there and sell something like everyone else, you're going to look like everyone else, right? This is where people are like, I'm going to do print on demand. Well, everyone's doing print on demand, so unless you get lucky, you're going to be out there with everyone else, which Newsflash, the vast majority of people make nothing. This is why you're struggling. It's because of that different factor. It's because of that added factor, right? Someone doing print on demand might get a lot of sales because they have a following. Someone doing PLR might get a lot of sales because they have an audience. How are we going to use it to actually get an audience and work? That's what this is about. Going through and batching. Can I use specific days for specific things? Making videos on Mondays, writing on Wednesday, creating content with MANUS on Thursday, building up, have a day where you meet with your members and you figure out what they're using. Can I outsource things? This is super important stuff where people don't think about it, but this is the crux that makes business work. If you want to go out there and make money online, you got to act like you mean it. I know there's a lot of videos that say, watch this video and by the end of it, you push 2 buttons and you're rich. We all know that that doesn't exist. Are there ways that you can get faster results? Of course, but oftentimes they take more work and you have to understand what that work is like. It's not super hard work. We have AI. It will literally do a lot of it for us. Our job is to be the content director, to be the director of what it is we're going to sell. And I'll tell you right here, right now, the problem with far too many people trying to build a business and make money online is decision making. You don't have info overload. You don't have struggle. All of this. What you have is the lack of proper decision making. The minute you say, I'm going to make this decision and I'm going to build this membership site or product based on data, then you go and you make decisions based on that decision. But if you're out there just trying to find ways to make money online, that's why we're struggling. It is about decision making. Starting to look at this and structuring your offers for maximum value, you can have a single tier, multi-tier, annual discounts, lifetime access, freemium, founding members, and more. One of the other things about membership sites is you can also get affiliates to sell it for you. Now, going through even more, when we look at the platforms, a lot of people are going to sell you a lot of platforms. People love Systemi and Kajabi, and they love ClickFunnels and all these. Personally, for me, I find them to be quite complicated. When I'm doing something, I need to look at how the AI is going to work and how it's going to be easy. If I have to go out there and copy and paste little snippets of AI into little boxes to make ClickFunnels work for me, I'm already out, and most of you guys will be too. Right? If I'm out, you guys will be, because I know this stuff, I do this stuff. And if it takes too long, it's going to be a pain. So what I like to do is I like to use a member, and the reason I like to use it, let me see if I can pull up the whiteboard here. The reason I like to use it is very important. What I do is I host all my sites on cPanel, which pretty much everyone does. If you use any regular web hosting, chances are it's probably cPanel. And what happens is it allows me, let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, we'll just go like this. But what it does is it allows me to have different folders. So what happens is you have your main WW website. So it'd be like personalityprompts.com. Okay, on personalityprompts.com, you're going to have a root folder. Okay, the root folder is where everything is. Your index file is what shows your website. So on Personality Prompts, it has WordPress, which has an index, which is why that shows up. Now, it also allows me to have little subfolders, and in those subfolders, I can have stuff like this. You're going to see how it works. It's very basic. It's very straightforward. So in Personality Prompts, you're going to see that the main membership site is content, so that is a folder. All of these are little files and pages that make it work. And I actually went to AI and I was like, okay, I want to make this super easy, because if I come up with a new business strategy prompt, I don't want to go here and edit this page. So what I did is I said, use this to make it so whenever I upload a new file, a new TXT file, it takes the title, puts it there, and makes a link to it. Boom, that's how this works. That's why they pop up. Super easy. All I have to do is drag and drop new TXT files, and as I go through with MANUS, I can go through and say, okay, now that I have these different types of calls, I can say, now make each call a JSON prompt for AI to help make a call script based on their product. They enter product, paste JSON, and bam, they get a call script. So now what this is going to do, it might seem simple, it might seem basic, but what we're going to do next is I'm going to say, now put each JSON prompt in its own TXT file with the call type as the name. See how easy this is? Now I go through, and this is going to go through and make that. So we have all 20 types of calls. Boom, ready to go. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to have it make the JSON prompts. It's going to put them in a zip folder. I put the zip folder into the file, extract it, boom, now this thing works. And I can do this with tons of stuff. I could do, oh, here's the dental marketing emails. Here's the dental marketing follow-ups. Whatever it is, I could go through and make this in a very simple way, and it's going to understand things very, very specifically. When you're dealing with all kinds of stuff that people could use this for, it is an absolute game changer. Now, this will make the zip file, and we'll be able to use that. Again, make sure everything's good. Test it out before you use it. Very important. Now, when we go through and we look at this, now I can add to this as we go along, right? Going through and saying, okay, here's a continuing education webinar script, a presentation style prompt. All of these things that people would get value of if they were looking to do AI content and make money. And that is the branding of personality prompts. That's why it works. And this works in all kinds of niches. We're going to go through and show you some as well. Now, again, I like to use a member because it locks folders on websites, and it's very simple and very easy. Going through and structuring your libraries for easy access, you want to have a good user interface that's very easy. Forget about design. It's not about design, it's about the value it gives. If I could write something on a paper and give you value, and you have a fancy website with no value, I'm going to win. Even though I wrote it on a napkin, I am going to win. Categorization and filtering, use robust tags, let them filter by topic, have it searchable, very easy to do. You just ask AI to make it searchable, or use WordPress. Start here pathway where they can go through and say, hey, start here, watch this first, get this data, understand this stuff. Have monthly drops to keep people engaged, and have something to email them where you're like, hey, this month we're adding this. This month, we have a membership site training where we're going to go deeper into this in personality prompts. Starting to understand this is how you build and how you grow and make this stuff work. Going through progress tracking, maybe you can have like a little cookie-enabled tracker that's like, oh, you got to chapter 5 or whatever it is. Very, very straightforward and very good. And I've done this in many different things, from my recovery niche to money-making niches to recipes. I've had membership sites in all of them. This is my favorite way to make money because it's recurring. And when you have something recurring, it's really cool because like Netflix doesn't have to make new sales next month. They have all the people that are already there. They just need to keep maintaining. And it's a lot easier to keep someone interested than it is to sell a new customer. Going through and reducing the churn rate, keeping people longer, and getting a maximum LTV is where you're going to go through and do onboarding, where maybe you have a call with a new member or have a webinar with new members. Create a community. A lot of people do Facebook groups or things like that. I like to run them on my own, like in Blog Profit Network, we have a forum, stuff like that. Have challenges, member spotlights, and even cancellation flows where you could say, hey, instead of canceling, try this. Remember why they signed up in the first place and reiterate that when they're like, oh, I want to cancel. You could just send an email and say, well, what's the reason? How can I help you? Growing your library without burning out. What you want to do is the COPE model, create once, publish everywhere. Turn a simple video or an interview or a big content or audio podcast into a transcript, a blog, social media, prompts. How can we dial down things into prompts? Having a modular design where you have Lego blocks. Again, this is why I like a member, works really well. Having standalone templates or modules that can be mixed and matched, seasonal updates, member contributions, and AI acceleration. This is something key, and it helps us understand how AI literally helps us with everything, every step of the way. Next up, again, the disclaimer, because we're getting into the numbers section. The results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. The average person trying to make money online makes nothing. Business takes risk and needs massive action. If that bores you, if that scares you away, maybe making money online ain't for you. We need to understand how this works because we can go through and we can do a paid traffic acceleration. We can go out there and start building and growing. Looking at your launch phase, looking at your growth. Again, when you build this, you are literally making the content that promotes it. So like if I go through here and I do like sales call scripts, look at this, it's making them all for me. I can go look at what people want. So sales call script or something like that. You got a lot of people looking this up. This is a micro niche of people that want sales call scripts and they're looking for ways to do it. And now we got this ready to go, right? How many of you guys are seeing this and you're like, oh, this totally makes sense. And if I can go through and start building this up and say, what are the things people want? Go look at forums, see what people complain about. Like, okay, what struggles do you have when it comes to sales calls or emails or whatever it is, or meal plans or whatever your niche is. Again, we're gonna go through some niches. For those of you that have stayed this long, congratulate yourself. You're probably in it to win it. You're probably here and you're like, you know what, this ain't the most exciting video, but this is the real deal stuff, the things that money is made of. When you start to understand that and you start to look at, oh my gosh, AI can do all of this stuff for me, all I need to do is direct it and grow and build, and it's about building. Far too many people, this is why you have info overload. People are out there and they're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna start this thing, maybe I'll do this sales call one. And they make one sales call thing, and they're like, oh, why didn't that work? I didn't get any money, it's not working. And then they go and they're like, oh, maybe I heard about this guy who says do drop shipping. And they start drop shipping. And they do little things. What we're doing is we're building. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make 100 prompts for sales calls. Cool. I could go out there, I could share those on Facebook. What are they gonna do? Well, the only people that watch them, like this video, the only people watching this video and staying long are the ones who really wanna do this. Those are my prime students, my prime customers. Those are the ones that in the end, they're gonna go and buy stuff, right? The rest of the people, it's just looky-loos. But we look at it and we're like, well, that lady over there got, 500,000 views on her video where she's skateboarding. Okay, fine, good, but what is that gonna sell? How is that actually gonna work? I would rather have 5,000 people watch something about sales calls, get them into the sales calls, and then build. Now I have those 100 prompts. Could I go through and turn them into 100 scripts? Could I go through and turn them into 100 example calls? Could I go through and look at all the different sales principles that are used on sales calls, boil them down, make those into prompts, have them put their product in, and boom, now we have something that builds and grows. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna spend a month trying to make money with all these methods. I'm gonna spend a month building something that's actually gonna work based on data, based on things that actually people want. And by doing this for a month with AI and building it, I'm gonna be so many light years ahead of just someone trying to figure this stuff out, because what I'm doing is I'm using it with a purpose, right? If I go to the gym and I start looking at weights and I pick something up and whatever, I'm not gonna get results. But if I go out there and I do a planned routine and I grow, and each week I'm going and I'm doing it heavier and stronger and faster, we're gonna go through and look at that and understand. Matt says there's a lady with a Substack who helps people buy land. She's got 50,000 subscribers. I mean, you think about that and you start to understand this is how it works. And it doesn't take that much stuff. It just needs to be focused. It needs to be super, super focused. Understanding that micro niches can work. Like, you probably didn't even think that sales call prompts was a niche, but now, look at this. Now I got these sales call prompts. Open the folder, and you're gonna see, here they are all. Here they all are. If I could speak correctly, that would help, right? But going through here, now we have all these different calls, and we have all the different scripts like this, and boom, there we go, prospecting call. Pretty simple, right? And this made it in literally seconds. Now, is that ready to go? Am I a millionaire? Not off of that, but I can go and make it better. Here's the dental ones, okay? Here's the dental prompts and the use cases. Now I could go through and say, okay, now make each one its own TXT file with a JSON prompt named for what the prompt does. And this is where you're gonna start to get building and growing, and then you could boil them down into tools and things like that. Starting to understand that MANUS can do a lot of the heavy lifting for us is game over. And we start to understand, like, okay, you could do a pre-launch by just releasing a bunch of examples, right? Like the lady who helps people buy land, this is where like the glossary method and all that stuff goes into full swing. Because now I can go through, I can make that glossary. I can make videos on the glossary and make those a membership. I can use Notebook LM. It does it all for me. I could go through and have MANUS create a full presentation like it did here. Okay, the only thing that's not working is our drawing thing here, which it works there. I think it must be my pen. Maybe it's the pen. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to like click it. There we go. You have to click it. Who would have thought? But at any rate, going through and understanding this is absolutely key, because now we can build things that actually work. We will talk about pricing, absolutely. We're going to talk about that with the niches, because when you get into certain niches, that's where the pricing is going to happen. If I have something for dentists that want to build and make a living with this, that's going to be, I could charge more for that than, you know, people looking for like chore trackers or something that's not as big. Next up, going through the real world implementation example. So here's what it looks like. You could even do like a done for you content, where like if I have content prompts, those dentists that are in there and they're like, hey, this is too much, you could sell them done for you services, which is really cool. That's the offer. You can go through and make something that works. Then you have the tech stack, which is WordPress for the front end. So like this is based on WordPress. And then you could see like, here I have all the different prompts and things that work, and they do actually start to get ranked, which is really cool. And this is getting traffic and building it and growing it. Starting to understand, okay, wait a minute, this all builds. The problem is people don't sit and build stuff. They want one thing to work, like, oh man, I made one t-shirt with one thing on it, or I made 100 of them, but it's not in the same process. Like if you're doing print on demand, go buy a Bible domain that has rankings, then make Bibles or make Bible shirts for all the different things or quotes or whatever it is, and start to think about how you could do this differently based on traffic. This is something that Jeff Bezos did back in the day, where he started Amazon based on books. Why? Because people searched for books. It was an easy sell. Like you search for the book, you want the book. Search for a prompt, you want the prompt. Starting to understand that is super key. What we're going to do is we're going to use WordPress and a member. So I have WordPress on the main, and then I have a member on the logins. It's called logins, right? That's just the folder I chose. You could choose whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. But now this is where it's hosting the membership script. It ties into your payment processors and all of that stuff. You could even have it to where, like on ours, we have it where you could just click a button and cancel so that they don't even have to email, so it's very, very easy. Obviously be honest, obviously be upfront, obviously do good things for the customer. That's what's going to make them stay longer. Now, starting to look at this and say, okay, I can implement this. If you have something that's $27 a month, it gets 100 members, $2,700 a month, $3,200 a year. In my opinion, this isn't that lofty of a goal in the right niche. I have done this several times, but again, we do have our big disclaimer back here somewhere that says the results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. It takes work. If you want to get 100 members, you're going to need a lot of people to see your content and a lot of people to make this stuff work. But once I have those 100, I could go for another 100 and another 100 and build and grow. I think my biggest membership site got up to like 1,500 members or something like that. Right now, we have membership sites with roughly around 1,000 members if you add them up. And it works really, really well. And then you can have add-ons. You can tie it into an email list, and on we go. Pitfalls that make membership sites not work. Insufficient content. If you launch with an empty library, people are not really going to like that. Okay, unless you're doing like the, hey, you get a discount because you're helping me build it kind of thing. But you want to have some good, substantial content they can use. Irregular updates, you want to make sure you're honest about it. Poor navigation, underpricing, or neglecting your community. If you keep your community good and you're just like, hey, let's hang out, let's learn about this stuff, let's make it the best it can be. You're making it the best so that those people will stay, and then you're learning what you want, what they want, so you could sell that and make it better for other people. It is literally like the best thing where you can build a business based on people telling you what they want. First of all, what you're going to do is days 1 to 30. This is what I did with personality prompts. I went out there, I took the niche. The niche idea was based on, okay, if I boiled down all the personalities and personality types and put those into prompts for specific things, like, okay, what would happen if AI thought about this topic like a romance person or a entrepreneur or all of this, and I started to think, oh, hey, this is something that would be helpful for people. I could set up a lead magnet where it goes through and talks about what people would use, what they would want. Days 31 to 60, you're going to build the infrastructure. Now, I would probably do the infrastructure in days 1 to 30, just because I don't like to wait. And I'm probably going to launch it too. Mine was launched within 30 days of coming up with the idea, and that within 30 days we had money in pocket from the new thing. And full disclosure, it was on a fully new everything, so we didn't get it like they had a reserve because something was, our business name or something like that had to be exactly matching, but we did eventually get paid on it, and we did get our first sale very fast. Understanding that's very key, and I wanted this to be separate. That's why I did it under its own business name and everything like that. But going through and looking at that, it is something that if you're focused and you build it, it doesn't take that long to start getting something, your first customer, your first lead, your first person that likes it. And understanding that all of the content that you're making for the members area is also what you're going to use to market it is absolutely key, because then you're doubling. You're doubling your efforts by making things for your members and then also making things that will promote it. Going through and looking at volume is vital. It's a numbers game. Steady traffic makes it work. Templates over text, people pay for speed. Offer tools, templates, done-for-you assets. Think about what can I make better. Community retains. If they're all talking to each other, helping each other out, it's going to work. Specific sells, dentist stuff, cold calls, whatever it is. Consistency is king. Keep going, keep going. If you keep going and no one's engaging, figure out why and keep going and figure out how to engage. You got to get your right audience, and sometimes the best thing to do in the beginning is make a really good giveaway and pay to give it away. Okay, and if you know your numbers or you figure out your numbers, that's something that you can build, or do videos, press releases, things like that that'll help people come in. Going through and looking at the tools we use, I use WordPress, I use a member, I use Stripe, or on one of them we have a regular merchant account, or actually on most of them we do. You can use Stripe for some of them. Stripe's customer support is not always the greatest, but they are the easiest. I mean, it's like you could be in business today. Merchant accounts sometimes take a couple weeks to get approved for. PayPal's one where you can do right away. ClickBank's pretty fast. Different things like that. Content production, we're going to use ChatGPT, Claude, and I'm going to use MANUS. MANUS should definitely be part of our repertoire. Immediate next steps, we're going to define our offer, build our wait list, create the first pack. Like here's our first batch of whatever it is. And again, when we get to the niche part, it'll start to make sense. Use Aweber for building a mailing list. Then we're going to go through, I don't think we skipped one. Then we're going to go through and look at what our content calendar would look like. Okay, onboarding, skill building, tools drop, guest experts. You can, like one of the cool things is if you have a membership site, you can interview a guest. If they sign up from his guest video, you just give them half of the sales or something like that as an affiliate. You can go through and do implementation, big releases, community growth, behind the scenes, optimization, guest experts, scaling, and annual review. Starting to look at this is where it's going to work. Now, you can do tiered pricing where you could have like a basic starter one that's like $7 or $30 or whatever. You can have a pro version and a VIP. Having different options works really well. Just have the chops to do it. Maybe one-on-one group coaching or something like that. Going through and using AI. This is where it's key. We're going to use AI to develop the concept like we did here, where now we have all these dental prompts. Boom, there they are. We can go through and use them. Obviously, I'm going to look at them and make sure they're good. I'm not just going to put them up right away. But you could see here we go. Create a response template for reviews mentioning team members. Okay, so like, dental hygienist, whatever, did a good job, or whatever it is that they're looking for in that market. Making it really good for your market is key. That's where the money's going to come in. That's where all this stuff is going to start to work in a real world way. Then you can create content, generate lessons, PDFs, checklists, video scripts. This is where AI really shines, because what it's going to do is it's going to put this stuff in perspective. It's going to put this stuff in outlines and structures and chapters and things like that, where before I'm not that great at making stuff like that, but this will go through and it'll do that in a specific way. Creating the content, building the website, designing the branding, and automating the whole experience is also key. Now, when we go through here, let's talk about 48 profitable niches that I've seen that this could work in. Again, you're not guaranteed to get nothing. What this is it's a starting point. You're going to look at where it's at, much like the one that we talked about
where all they're doing is talking about startups and how they make money. You could just go out there and review AI startup ideas. You could go out there and you can get niche ideas or whatever. There was one years ago I paid like $300 for, and it just gave me different niches that people were using to make money. And I was like, that's valuable. That's the kind of thing you can make with MANUS. Just think about how you're gonna do it in a different way, because a lot of people don't know how to do research, and you can do research and structure it in a membership site and make it work. So one of them we can do is affiliate marketing, where you can do affiliate marketing templates, SEO and content marketing, keyword research sheets, product checklist, AI content briefs, local SEO audit, PLR. You could do this for local business marketing, roofers, people who want leads, all kinds of stuff like that. Checklists, local ad templates, templates for, if they're on the news or whatever. Social media content, this one's really big. There are people making an obscene amount of money providing social media content with AI. You can make social media prompts. We have a section in personality prompts that literally does that, where you go through social media prompts. We have a bunch being put in there, but going through and looking at that, can you do captions, hooks, Canva templates, monthly calendars, engagement prompts, and more. Drop shipping, maybe you go out there and you do drop shipping ideas. Go out there and find products, figure out what they would sell for, and give them an idea. One of the things that I'm working on right now, which I used MANUS for, which was fantastic. I have a video tomorrow about what I used MANUS for. You guys are gonna love it. It is insanely awesome. But going through with MANUS, I could go through and I could find affiliate products. And what I'm doing is I'm finding, Home Depot affiliate program. How would I promote that? That's the content. Then I could make prompts about it and tools about it and products they can use. And thinking about, this isn't just about one thing. It's not just about one blog post. It's about something that people are going to get value out of that I can use to also get traffic. Print on demand, maybe you could do slogan packs, design prompts, Etsy listing templates, seasonal campaign calendars, and more. Website design clients, lead gen businesses where you could do capture pages, free reports, PLR packs, things they could give away. Realtors, I have a buddy who does custom PLR for realtors and different markets, and he does really, really well. Startup planning. Maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you have a business plan template, pitch deck prompts, investor emails, SWOT analysis worksheets, all of the stuff that's in there. And if you don't understand these and you're like, what's a SWOT analysis? Go use your AI. You have tools that can help you beyond what I dreamed about when I started my business. Like when I started my business, if you told me this, I'd be like, this is some magic voodoo from a different planet. That's what you have. And most of you are not using it because it's just a fun toy that people say, yay, AI. Let's use it for real stuff. All of my AI is just for business. That's all I use it for. I'm not there asking it about my favorite shoes or how to jump higher. I'm out there making it do business stuff. And when you understand that tools like MANUS can be like an employee and it can go through and it could do things on your behalf, it is game over. I mean, you think about this, it's like I literally got 100 different dental AI prompts, a bunch of sales call prompts, and I didn't even have to do anything. It researched them and found them and put them into prompts, put them into TXT files. I could upload them, boom, I'm in business right now. This is literally next best thing to business at the speed of thought, which is something that I learned back in the day. Bill Gates hinted at it in a book back in like 1998. And I think the book was called Business at the Speed of Thought, and starting to realize, oh my gosh, that's where we're at. But far too many people are too busy trying to figure out what to do when that's already done, right? We can look at that and we can see these niches are already here. Like you look at, that's why our high-ticket niche product is so valuable to so many people, because what we're doing is we're giving you a domain. If you were to go out there and get that domain that I just won, before this call, and you build it into a giant prompt engine with tools to show people how to build videos with AI, game over. I mean, I've seen people go from 0 to tons of members overnight. Again, disclaimer, most people go from 0 to 0 really fast. They're really good at getting 0. But understanding this is a business, and when I go and I build and I make it work, that's where this happens. It's not super ridiculously hard to do. It's just you need to stay on the course and make data-driven decisions based on what you know works. When you start to understand this, you can go into niches like productivity. How many people struggle with productivity? They could do printable planners, daily habit trackers, 30-day challenges, scripted routines, habit building, goal setting, anxiety and wellness, mindfulness, gardening, bird watching, that one. I mean, you could probably do it. I talked to a guy at Podfest. I spoke at Podfest. I'm speaking at the next one in a couple months. They have like this whole bird watching community that people spend a ton of money in. And I'm like, really? It's all about birds? Okay, cool. That's good, right? But it can work. It can make a lot of money. Cooking and meal prep, fitness and home workouts, golf and improvement, job search and resumes. This is one that's huge, right? Maybe you could go through and show people how to do resumes in the age of AI, talk about skills people are looking for, teachers with lesson plans, classroom checklists, email templates, and on we go. Real estate agents. A lot of real estate agents are struggling and they don't have real estate. I have a client right now, we're helping with this, and he's got an amazing setup for real estate agents. And I'm like, dude, you're sitting on a gold mine if you use it right, because now you can turn this into prompts and things that they can use and tools and things like that. And what's going to happen is you're going to build a base, right? Like if I build a base and I get a membership site up to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, yeah, neat. I could go pay my mortgage. Or I could go through and I could reinvest that into making it better and reinvest it into getting new customers and building and growing. That's where the rubber meets the road. You could go through sales teams. I probably wouldn't do the healthcare one. You could do prompt engineering, mega prompt libraries, fill in the blanks, specialty packs, AI automation. Give them some tips for automation. Maybe that's your jam. You like doing AI automation. For me, I find it complicated. I would probably join a membership site if it helped me. Vibe coding. Build apps, build APIs, all kinds of things that they can use. AI video content, we talked about that one. You guys have seen the video site that I have that people visit daily. AI graphic packs. Now with Nano Banana in Gemini, there's people looking for like product image prompts and things like that. Very, very cool stuff that works. Cleaning, parenting, budget management, weight loss, sleeping, like you could do sleep journals and stuff like that, writing and journaling, spirituality, dream interpretation, relationship and dating, marriage and coaching and stuff like that. Starting to understand this, we can go into deeper niches and understand them as a whole. Starting to look at the market size of these is where the rubber meets the road. If I was to go into the affiliate marketing niche, it's a huge market, estimated to be like $38 billion by 2030. And those are rough estimates. I would say it's probably more than that. Looking at content you can do with this market, like a lot of US people, a lot of SEO, a lot of stuff going. You can do membership content, like 100 offer review templates, done for you landing page, 365-day content ideas, swipe email sequences, keyword research tools, conversion tracking, niche selection, affiliate program database, all kinds of stuff like this where it's systemized content, and that's where MANUS shines. Like I could literally go out there and say, give me the top 100 affiliate programs. Now show me how to promote them. Now show me how to do it this way. Boom, I can have a membership site that helps beginning affiliate marketers start. Or if you're doing stuff for realtors or specific things, going through and looking at this, you can build and grow and you can make something very valuable. What you want is a value proposition that's almost sounds too good to be true. Like when you look at personality prompts, I mean, you literally get training, tons of prompts, tons of tools, specific stuff that's going to help you. I mean, for $47 a month, it almost seems like, wow, this should cost more. That's what you want your customer to think. Wow, this should be more, because that's what's going to make them stay. That's what's going to make them sign up. You can do SEO and content marketing. $92 billion market valuation there on this one with the SEO services market. You can do prompts for keyword research spreadsheets, SOP checklist, AI content briefs, local SEO, and on we go. All kinds of different things. You could do stuff for social media content. We went over that one. You could do fitness and training. You can do 30-day workout calendars, printable routines, on we go. We could do real estate agents, listing presentation templates, open house checklists, social media posts, on we go. When we start to understand this is where things are made. This is where it's built and it grows. And we look at it in a real world way rather than that, oh, I'm going to post something on social media and make $4 million a minute. That ain't going to happen. Can I build and grow an actual business? Yes, I can. I've done it many, many times. This is what I've done for most of my life, almost 26 years now. And, you look at that and you start to understand this is about building things that actually work based on data, not luck, not guessing. We're going to go out there and we're going to build and we're going to scale and we're going to grow and we're going to look at data, graphic designers, client proposal templates, design brief, project pricing. Maybe you go out there and you're like, hey, how to create your own Fiverr type empire with AI stuff. I just found out today we're going to create an AI agency with image creation. I found something in Nano Banana. Again, that video is going to be out tomorrow. And that's something where you could build and scale and you could show people how to do it. Going through with coaches and consultants, huge market, client agreement, market funnel templates, testimonial collection forms, package pricing. These are things that people use all the time. And what you're going to do is you're going to package it in a way that they're going to use and grow and learn. Virtual assistants, client onboarding, time tracking, invoice, all kinds of things like that. When you start to see, like, this is really how a business is grown online, freelancers, podcasters, on and on we go, course creators, you're going to start to see that you can accelerate your growth with this type of stuff. And personality prompts is exactly what we're doing and how we're building this and working it. And we look at all of these things. Now, if you want the notes from this video, you can get those over at personalityprompts.com. You just click on the notes button there, and you can get the notes. I will have this entire slideshow that you can check out and use. We're going to have some other stuff as well that you can take a look at as well. Price based on what the end result is for the user. So if my membership site helps course creators make more money, I could price it higher than something like, a workout template or something like that. But once you start to understand how this works and how we grow and how we build something of value, you're going to see that this works like crazy. Now, you can get the full notes and slides over at personalityprompts.com. If you go to personalityprompts.com, you will see our Cyber Monday sale is still up. That's where you can go and you can get all these tools and everything like that. And you can kind of see in a real world way how we're building this out and making it work. The sky literally is the limit. And if you start to think different with AI, like let's say you don't want to buy a course or anything like that, you could actually go to MANUS and you can start, or you can go to ChatGPT and you could say, what are 250 niches I can make membership that, let's say, that work well for a membership site. This will go through and it'll start to look at it in a very specific way. Money says, if it's not a tool site, wouldn't customers just download all your info and cancel? They can. I mean, good luck with that. What you want to do is you want to make it to where each one's different and you want to have it to where it grows. So like here, yeah, if a customer wanted to go in and be like, yes, I'm going to go in and get each one of these. By the time they get them all, I mean, that's going to be kind of a pain. Usually they won't. I find that people that worry about the one guy who will do stuff, that's kind of the wrong way to look at it. I'm focusing on the 99 who are going to use it and get value out of it. Understanding that and using it is very, very important. Will some people go in there and stay for 1 month? Yeah, that's where all the other stuff comes into play, where you're looking at retention and tools and things like that and things you can use. One of the ones that we have in Blog Profit Network is you have to be a member for the plugin to work. So like, if you're not a member, you can't log in and use the tool. Like you can use some of the free things and use it with your WordPress, but if you want the actual AI-enabled stuff, you do have to be a member. But what I would do is I would not worry about that, because what a lot of people do is they're going to worry about the one thing. And they're like, oh, well, what if someone accidentally gets it free? Like one of the things that we had years ago, we had a members call for members. And I remember one of my employees came to me and they're like, hey, did you know that previous members that are no longer members are on the call still? And I'm like, yeah, that one call I'm okay with, because one, they're going to sign up again because they see the value, and two, I can upsell them other things. So what happens is a lot of people, they look at business and they act from a world of lack, where they're like, here's what I don't want. And if you focus on what you don't want, you're going to limit yourself. And if you focus on like, okay, maybe you have this guy and it's like, oh, hey, what if this guy uses the prompt or whatever? Okay, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how am I going to make money? And if you worry about the one guy, you're focusing on the wrong plays, right? And when you start to understand that and you're like, wait a minute, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. What I want to do is I want to take something to market and I want to get customers. That's what I want to do. We have a video coming out this month where it's about if you can generate customers for $0, you basically walk into one of the highest paying careers ever, because getting customers is literally everything. And when you understand, like, it's not about that one thing. Like, people go, well, what about that one guy? Okay, forget about the one guy. That's not who I'm selling to. I'm selling to the people who want that value and make it work. Like, let's face it. Could you go on Google and find variations of all the prompts that are in personality prompts? Yeah, you could. It'll probably take you like a couple of years to do it. So yeah, if you want to save $47, if a year of your time is worth $47, by all means, go do it. This is one of the biggest crux that I see when it comes to making money online. People get hung up on what the cost is or things like that. It's funny because people will go out there and they'll drop $1,000 on some guru course, but they won't pay $200 for MANUS. Like, bro, I'm gonna pay for MANUS. Like, MANUS can do what the guru can't do because the guru don't work for me. He's just giving me some stuff. And half the time, the guru course or the PLR crap you buy is just junk. I want something that's going to work for me. I want to go out there and get customers in hand, and I want to worry about the things that are going to work. I want to stack things that are going to help me. That's why here, I mean, I give away all my training. Like this training, other gurus would charge you for it. I'm giving it away. Why? Because I know people watching it are going to be like, I want to work with that dude. That dude knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for 26 years. Instead of buying a guru course, what we do is we give you a domain, a niche, and a strategy. Okay? It's not about learning. You want to learn? Watch my videos. I get tons of them. We got like 2,000 videos on my website. You go watch them. It costs me money when you watch them. It doesn't cost you anything, right? You go there and it's like, I got a bunch of stuff there. You could watch them. Now, if you want to work with me, that's where the money is, and that's where the strategy works. Because if I can go out there and I can give away 1,000 prompts, okay, you want all thousands of these plus training on how to use them the right way? Boom, sign up. That's where you got to look at this and understand most people are taught how to look at money the wrong way. They're looking at money as lack, like, oh, hey, I need to save and conserve. This is where I'm different. There are studies that show the vast majority of people would spend more time to get $10,000 back that they lost than to earn a new $10,000. I'm the absolute opposite. I don't know why. It's just the way I'm wired. I focus on making more. When something's gone, it's gone. I forget about it. I move forward. I've made some bad decisions and lost some money. Most people will dwell on it and say, how do I get it back? How do I repurpose it? Forget about it. I'm going forward. I'm going forward. Now, is that the best advice for everyone? Probably not. It works for me, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, what can I do to get more? If I invest $1,000 in a course, one, I better make sure it's a skill I need. If I'm making a membership site and that's about how to get traffic to sell stuff, maybe that'll work. If it's about drop shipping, why in the world would I buy a drop shipping course if I'm making a membership site? I wouldn't, unless I want to confuse myself and have more info overload. Buy what you need when you need it. Not because some guru said this is the best, greatest thing. What you need when you need it. It all comes down to picking your direction. As I say all the time, being an entrepreneur is about making the right decisions. People don't want to be accountable for their decisions. That's why they don't make them. If I go out there and I say, hey, I think this personality prompts thing's going to work, and it doesn't work, oh, I feel bad. No, I really don't. I just make it work. If I base it on data, I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to build, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to figure out a way to do it. The internet leaves clues. We got everything here that's like, here's what you do, here's what you do. And when you start to understand that, what we're going to do is we're going to buy what we need when we need it. That's why when I go through, right, like personality prompts, that's going to help you. because you go through it, it'll have a niche finding section. We have calls where you could ask questions. You have all kinds of stuff in there, and that's the key. And when we start to understand, hey, wait a minute, we're going to look at the data. Can I build and grow something about sales call scripts? I probably could. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to spend some time and figure out what these people want. Then maybe I'll go out there and I'll try to get my first customer. See if it works, right? Say, hey, you know what? You're going to be my first customer. We're going to test this out. In exchange for, you get 100% off or something, right? Have them tested out free. Starting to understand that is absolutely key. And when we look at this, we could do membership-friendly type stuff like this. Here's some things that you can do for different digital products for membership stuff. Landing page templates, Aweber. So templates is a big one. Checklists and cheat sheets is a big one. AI-generated content packs, printable products, tools and calculators, databases and lists, video products, audio music, courses and micro lessons, scripts and copy packs, and on we go. Again, I'll have all of these over at personalityprompts.com. You can go there and get the notes. But starting to understand this, this is where the rubber meets the road. If you're in it to win it and you start to think about, okay, I'm going to make something of value, and in turn, it's going to make content of value that's going to promote that something of value. That is where it works. If you want to learn more about building these membership sites with MANUS, again, we have some other training in personality prompts for you. I'll load those in there as well. We're adding to it all the time. That's something that I really like. It's one of my programs I'm most proud of because it really gets people to that next level. And that's what this is about. If you're in it to win it and you're like, okay, I want to make a real business, I'm tired of messing around, I want to make something that actually works, then you could go through, you could type in template, see what kind of templates people want. You could type in prompt, see what kind of prompts people want. You can type in all these kinds of things, and we'll have a keyword list. One of the things I'm doing with personality prompts also is I'm using it as a dumping ground for all my keyword reports. So over the years, I've generated, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of keyword reports. That's what it cost me to have the keyword tools for all those years. And we're putting a lot of those keyword reports in there in different structures so people could see, oh, hey, I want to be in this niche or that one. And it'll start to help you see that in a different way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stuff. I know you did because there was some pretty good stuff there. Go over to personalityprompts.com to get the notes. If you want to join in there and see how it works, you could use the link and get the Cyber Monday special, Black Friday special, all kinds of cool stuff there. You just click the sign up button. I think you'll find that it's worthwhile. Like if you guys get value out of my videos, that's more of this. That's stuff where I can go through and I can teach more detailed stuff. I can show all kinds of intricate things of how this business works. And it's super important to look at. So smash that like button. Check out personalityprompts.com. Do not forget to watch tomorrow's video. It is going to be a doozy, and it's going to show you one of the most simple ways to get traffic out there possible. And you're going to see how it works with this business. So it's going to be like a piggyback on this. And yes, it's also about MANUS. So stay tuned for that. Smash the like button. Check out the videos in the description. See you over at personalityprompts.com. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.